Welcome to today's screencast on Active Directory Programming with Visual Studio. Today's topic is creating a group and adding users to that group. My name is Robert Shelton Jr. and I'm a .NET evangelist from Microsoft Federal. Okay, we're going to start by adding a reference to the system.directoryservices assembly. So it's going to go there and select OK here. And then we're going to add the using statement so that we can use the namespace. So you're adding using system.directoryservices. There we go. Now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to instantiate a new directory entry object that will represent the folder that we're going to add our group to. In this case, we're going to add it to the users folder. So add user folder here, new directory entry object. Need to give it the path of the users folder. So LDAP whack common name equals users, domain context equals rslab, domain context will equal local. That's the name of my Active Directory with the path. Now that we've done that, the next thing I want to do is make sure that the folder that I'm going to add my group to is a container. I'm doing the if statement here and check the add 80 user folder schema entry name and see if it equals container, and if so, I'm good. The next thing we're going to do is instantiate a new directory entry object that will represent my new group folder. So directory entry, we'll call it new group, and it will equal my 80 user folders, create children.add, common name equals, we'll call it sales department, and it will be of type group. Now that we have that, we need to check to see if the group already exists. If it does, we're going to remove it. So I'm going to use the directory entry exists. I'm going to give it my new group's path. And then if it does exist, I'm just going to give the user a message saying that I found the group existed, and we're going to remove it. Okay, so group existed. And in this case, we're going to just go ahead and remove it. You may give the user other options versus overriding it. Alright, overwrite now. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the 80 user folders children.remove method to remove the group, assuming that they actually exist. Alright, I'm going to give it my new directory entry, which is what it's looking for, and the path of the group that I'm about to try to add here. Alright, so semicolon. Okay, now that I've got a new group object ready to go here, I'm going to go ahead and set some of the properties. First one I'm going to set is the same account name, which is required in my particular implementation of Active Directory for pre-Windows 2000 compatibility. I'm going to set that value to equal sales group. That's right, I'm going to have to go back and change the one from the sales department to sales group, but I'll do that in a moment here. Okay, so it's required for my AD implementations. Leave you a little note there because you may not need it. Then I'm going to go ahead and set another one which is required. I'm going to set the group type to equal, let's say type, to equal value of 4, which is a domain local group. I'll put something in the resources to give you some of the other values. There will be a link at the end of this screencast. Okay, so this is required. Let me go ahead and paste in my optional values here. Okay, and as you can see, I added the managed by to equal Peter Pumpkin Eater. He's going to be our group manager here, and that's his 80 path. Okay, and I need his distinguished name for the managed by. The next thing I'm going to do here is go ahead and commit my changes, otherwise the group won't actually be saved to AD. So I'm just going to call this commit changes method, and I'll give myself a little console write line to say that the new group has been created. There we go. I should do that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some users that I've already created in my AD. So I'm going to do a write line to say I'm adding Peter Pumpkin Eater here to our new group. So I have my console write line. to the sales group. I still have to remember to go back and fix it earlier where I said sales department. In any event, I'm going to call the new groups invoke method, and I am going to use an add, and then I have to give it the path of my user for, in this case, Peter. His common name equals Peter Pumpkin Eater. So that's Peter Pumpkin Eater, comma, common name equals users, which is the folder he's in, domain context equals R, and domain context equal local. Okay. I'll put a link to the first screencast which shows how to add users and whatnot, but there I've pasted in the rest. So I've got Peter, I've got John Smith, and now I need to go back and fix that problem with the sales department. I meant to put sales group, and I need that to match up with my same account name, so let me change that to group. Okay. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and go to our Active Directory, go to our users folder, let's do a refresh and make sure that there's no sales group that's already there. As you can see, there's no sales group. Okay, we'll go ahead and minimize that, go ahead and compile and run this and save it. Okay, while it's compiling and running, we should see here in a moment that our users and group was created. Hit any key to continue. Alright, let's go back to Active Directory. Let's refresh the user folder, and now you will see that we have a nice sales group down here at the bottom. Let's look at its properties. Okay, and you can see that the values that we set are there, email and whatnot. You can see that the members are there. There's Peter and there's John. And you can see that it's managed by Peter with all of his values from Active Directory. That's pretty much it. So here's the resource slide with our link to the Federal Developer weblog. You should check that out for more resources like this screencast. There's a link at the bottom for the adding a user to AD screencast that I mentioned earlier. I want to thank you very much for the time that you've taken to view this screencast, and I hope that you find it of value. Please check back at the Federal Developer weblog for additional screencasts as they come online. We're going to announce them there. Thank you.